When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your crumpets together because it's time to dish the tea. And your dish darlings, with Big Meat.
Can't wait. Time to dish tea with Big Meat. Time to dish tea with Big Meat. Time to dish tea with Big Meat. Time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Darling.
The dark brown shades of my skin only add color to my tears. Oh, that splash against my hollow bones, that rocks my soul. Oh, Lord. Looking back over my false dreams that I once knew, wondering why my dreams never came true. Oh, is it because I'm black? Somebody tell me, what can I do? Oh, Lord. Oh, something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? Yeah. Something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? Yeah. In this world of no pity, I was raised in the ghetto of the city. Oh yeah, oh Lord. Mama, she worked so hard to earn every penny. Yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. Something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? Yeah. Something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? Oh, Lord. Like a child stealing his first piece of candy and got caught. People around lost corners somewhere I got lost. Oh, something is holding me back. I wonder, is it because I'm black? Yeah. Oh, somebody tell me, what can I do? Will I survive or will I die? Oh, keep on holding me back. Oh, keep on holding on. Keep on picking on me. Oh, somebody. I want to be somebody so bad. But something's holding me back. Oh, is it because I'm black? Is it because I'm black? Oh, is it because I'm black? Yeah, hold on. Something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? Yeah, you see, I want diamond rings and things.
Double Exposure Media Relations is a full-service public relations, marketing, and artist development firm specializing in urban culture and lifestyle. Spearheaded by the Henry Hingers of hip-hop, Mr. Angelo Ellaby, Double Exposure serves to educate its clients about the dollars and cents of the music industry. For more information about Double Exposure Media Relations, call 201-224-6510. 201-224-6510. Double Exposure Media Relations.
And hello out there in Blog Talk Radio Land here in the glorious United States and across the globe. Hello to all of my friends over there in Germany and Italy and France, the Caribbean islands, and to all of you within the sound of my voice. There's another glorious day, my tea sippers. And I know you have all of your cups together because you know what time it is. Because, darlings, it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meats. What's going on, babies? Well, for those of you who know or may want to know, honey, or I'm going to inform you, you know I am in birthday season. Yes, I am, honey. From February 28th until April 2nd, honey, that there is my birthday season. March 4th is my birthday, my darlings. I just turned a lovely old 46 years young, and I am feeling absolutely fantabulous about it. Right now, I am coming to you today because we have a very special edition show, and I want to share some information with you because what's going on here in the world today, we need to take precedent to it. Now, some of you may feel as though this may not concern you, but it really does, okay? And some of you may feel as though we talk about this too much, and some of you may feel as though we're not talking about it enough. At the same time, the information that has just come out, honey, is quite staggering because of what the projection is. Today, you know, we're calling today's show AIDS and the Black gay community. Is it fact or is it fiction? Okay. Just recently, within the last week or so, we have had the CDC has come out and they have projected and estimated that 1 in 2 black, gay, and biattractional men will be diagnosed HIV positive within their lifetime. Yes. So we are at a point now to where they're basically telling you it's almost inevitable, okay? Now, I'm going to read a short article. The one that I had was from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that came out on February 25th. And I've been wanting to put this show together, but I just didn't want to sit down around it because I wanted to put my spin on it. However, it came into my consciousness because, as you all know, our guest, Walter Hampton, the second, you know, he's the blogger up on YouTube and things, and he put a video up, you know, talking about this one particular article. And one of the things about Walter that I find to be disheartening is we always hear about, you know, the problem. And you know, he can be very cynical at times. Although he's about getting the information out there, I really believe that sometimes his tactics causes folks not to want to lean on the information because he comes across as a very cynical and in your face, you better do this or you stupid for not doing that kind of thing. And, folks find that to be somewhat offensive at times. And so I think his message gets lost. What I want to do is piggyback on what he was saying and kind of open it up to where we can all get and receive the information, okay? And also give my own little commentary on it because there are some things about this that has really upset me when this thing came into fruition because as a former HIV counselor and I was a case manager for clients and things and advocating on their behalf. I had the privilege of sitting down with members of the CDC at times, and we would go to conferences and things like that, and we would sit down and basically let them know, what approach needs to be taken. Before I get into that, let me read you this article. Now, this here is coming from the Atlanta Voice, and this is their weekly. This is the African American or Americans of African Descent weekly paper, and this is from March 4th to March 10th, 2016. And the article reads as this. It says, CDC says that 1 in 2 black gay men in the U.S. will be diagnosed with HIV. About half of gay and bisexual men will be diagnosed with the AIDS virus in their lifetime, according to the new government estimates. Overall, for the average American, the odds of an HIV infection is 1 in 99 and has been declining. But the risk varies widely for different groups. For example, the projection is 1 in 2 for gay black men, but fewer than 1 in 2,500 for heterosexual white men. The differences are stark, says Jonathan Merman of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. The CDC released the estimates at a Boston medical conference on Tuesday. HIV, or the human immunodeficiency virus, is spread mainly through sex and sharing needles for injecting drugs. In the U.S., infections have long been most common in men who have sex with men. Since AIDS was first identified more than 30 years ago, medicines have changed it from a death sentence to a chronic threat. The report provides an unusually vivid picture of what's been happening with HIV infection. The estimates were calculated from, and I'm turning the page to go to page 5. It's been estimated from diagnosis and death figures from 2009 through 2013. New HIV infections have been falling in the United States to about 40,000 annually. A disproportionately large share, about 10,000 cases, have been in gay and bisexual black men. That number has been holding steady while infections in other groups have fallen. The lifetime risk of HIV has always been declining. Several years ago, the CDC put that estimate at less than 1 in 78 for all Americans. It fell about 20% to 1 in 99 and dropped for both men and women. That suggests prevention efforts are paying off, Merman said. The earlier estimate was based on 33 states. The new report covers all 50 and the District of Columbia. That allowed the agency, for the first time, to calculate lifetime risk for specific groups like gay black men and for states. Findings include, based on geography, the chances of being diagnosed with HIV is highest in Washington, D.C., and southern states like Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, and Maryland. The risk is lowest in North Dakota. 1 in 670 residents of that state will be diagnosed with HIV, compared to about 1 in 50 in Maryland and Georgia. Gay and bisexual men have the highest risk, but there are racial differences within that group. For gay white men, it's about 1 in 11, and a significantly smaller portion than the estimate for blacks and Hispanics. Among heterosexuals, blacks are far likely to be infected other racial groups. For example, 1 in 49 black women compared to 1 in 1,083 white women. Wow. Wow. 1 in 49 women, black women, will be diagnosed, as opposed to 1 in every 1,083 white women. Okay? And so now we're looking at this, and, you know, we get all up in arms and carrying on and things, but one of the things that I have a problem with is that we have no alternatives out there. And I say that because, and this may be a little bit disheartening to folks, because we have not been paying attention to this part. And this is when I say, when I talk to the CDC and have gone to them about certain things, I have said to them, we need to look at this prevention message, and we need to change it, because one of the things that we do know is that when we're dealing with adults or folks who claim that they are grown-ass men and grown-ass women, one of the things that we know is that they do not like being told they have to do something, okay? And once you get that you gonna do it or else kind of feel to your message, then everything else then becomes, I'm going to prove to you I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do because I'm grown. You can't tell me what I am and what I ain't going to do. So, with the message being that you have to use condoms, 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 that there has fallen on somewhat of deaf ears, you know, because we know it, but at the same time, because you're telling me this is all I have to do, then, you know, that there becomes a problem with folks who don't like them, some folks who are allergic to them, some folks who don't know how to put them on correctly. Believe it or not, there are a lot of folks who have girth on their penises and carrying on, and some condoms just do not, they may have the length, but as far as the girth is concerned, if it's not used properly, they get a tight end, you know, and it will start to suffocate the dick and carrying on. So we have issues that we have to contend with. And here's another one that I have been trying to get folks to introduce to the CDC so that they can take note of this. And that is, with so many people being on psychotropic drugs, and here's where I think that this is interesting, because we have a lot of black people who are on some kind of Ritalin or some kind of attention deficit disorder drug, some kind of hypertension drug, some kind of mind-altering antidepressant drug or whatever, and all of those medications have severe sexual side effects, okay? And men end up having erectile dysfunction orders. Now, you know, y'all heard me talk about this before on the show, and it still holds true. We are not addressing that problem within sexual health and sexual responsibility, because we still keep telling folks that condoms are the only thing. It's either condoms or abstinence. And we both know that those things are not becoming realistic these days, particularly in the black community. Okay? Now, I don't know if you guys remember the show that I did a while back, but they were saying, or there was a study that suggested that sex has become a means of entertainment, particularly for those who are in impoverished neighborhoods, those who are underemployed, undereducated, and carried on. And so the suggestion is, because they look at bleak times and this, that, and the other, that a lot of folks end up just having sex as their means of entertainment. Okay, hence why we have so many people who are, you know, we got a lot of children and you know, out of wedlock and all that kind of stuff, you know. So then when it comes down to the gay community, you know, being that the community itself is broken And being that, we're dealing with a lot of folks who want to be loved and held and want to be accepted for who they are, we end up getting folks who end up accepting sex for in place of love and understanding and carrying on. And then, of course, the popular thing about sex and carrying on is that it feels good and, you want to have it again and again and again, and you want this and you want that. And, so because, became popular because, you can go snatch the trade and you could snag a date and this, that, and the other, then, of course, everybody want to have their free cards and carry it on. And they want to sit down and, I can do this, bitch. I can sit down here. I can do 12 motherfuckers at the same time while sitting up here spinning from the chandelier. I got one foot on the bedpost. I got the other one wrapped around the damn bathroom door. Bitch, come on. See, we got all that kind of craziness. And, yes, it's fun, but we end up trying to live out loud fantasies and carrying on that ends up getting us in reckless behavior. Also, mental health is a great factor in this. And that is also underlooked. I said that about the CDC. We need to look at mental health issues because, as I said before, folks who are looking for love and looking to be understood and looking for someone to they can call their own, or they can feel as though they want to be, that somebody wants them or desires them, and et cetera, et cetera. We have a lot of that going on, and that's being underserved to the community, which is a reason why, particularly in black, gay, and with the black gay and bisexual community, that this here has a potential of becoming true. Because we are so busy wanting to make sure that we get our freak on, and nobody is understanding the responsibility behind it. Now, mind you, addiction is also a part of mental health. It's mental and physical. And oftentimes, those go underlooked. People do not look at the fact that somebody may have a sexual addiction, and in that addiction, they're feeding the addiction just like any other drug or whatever. When you become addicted to it, yeah. And so in wanting to feed the addiction, oftentimes folks end up in reckless behaviors. And I'm talking from experience because y'all heard me say this on several occasions too, that sex was my addiction. And I was out there for a little piece of a minute. And I'm one of the fortunate ones that through my recklessness and carrying on, that I have not contracted anything, and it easily could have been so. It easily could have been so. So I've been one of the fortunate ones. And I don't take that for granted and things. Also, we're dealing with sexual addiction. We also have to look at age. Because, again, not only do we have folks who are on these other psychotropic medications and carrying on, we also have people, as the body ages, there's just shit you just can't do no more. And for men, they were just saying this on Dr. Oz and also on The Doctors, that as we age, once we get over 40, that the dick going to stop working eventually at some point in time or another. It's not going to be like it used to be in your teens and in your 20s. So a lot of men, you have to get out there and exercise and this, that, and the other in order to maintain. But as you age, you're not going to always be what you once were. So we have that to contend with. So the CDC, the prevention message that they go forth has always been lax in that. And I've always said that damn message needs to change. We need to look at this from a perspective that's going to empower people and not just put them under the bus and say, oh, you only have to do this. As an HIV counselor, during my training, that was the one thing that we had to learn how to overcome, because we had people who were just going to tell you, I'm not using them things. I don't like them. I'm not going to use them. Okay? If that's their perspective and what they want to do, honey, then that means we have to come up with alternative methods to make sure that we have a safer environment. Because here's the deal. Condoms are not 100%. And see, we glue it, the way how this message is going, we keep telling everybody that, they need to do this, they need to do that because condoms, well, that's the best method. Okay, it may be the best, but it is not 100%. The only thing that's 100% is abstinence, honey. Okay, and how realistic is that when you have a sexually crazed culture where everything about our culture is sexualized? So we have to deal with this realistically. I said in the introduction here on the page, if you read the introduction, I have been going to the CDC for years about this because I don't think that what the message is real. I really don't. I don't think that we approach it from a place where folks can absolutely relate. We have scare tactics and carrying on, Also, what's going on, and I've heard this, I don't know if I agree with it. However, because it frustrates me every time I hear it. Folks are still under the impression that HIV and AIDS are two separate things. Oh, I only have HIV. It's not full-blown AIDS yet. And everybody thinks that to say that means something. Okay? But now, how the CDC and how HIV organizations are teaching this, I was told this by a tester, that they do that with folks so that they can get their angst up off of them, so that can keep them calm and they can accept their diagnosis better. I said, sweetheart, wait a minute, honey. Okay, I get that, but that doesn't take from the fact that they're still positive. That's the thing. HIV is the thing. That's the virus. AIDS is a symptom. You see what I'm saying? AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, all that means is that the virus has taken over and have killed all the cells to fight off all the stuff. The virus is killing. So why are we sitting? That frustrates me. Okay? So with that being said, this is some of the reasons why folks are not going to get tested, or if they are getting tested, they're sitting up there thinking as though, I just got HIV, and when Lord help us, when they become undetectable, a lot of folks still believe that undetectable means that they know they're not cured, but they go off, acting as if they are cured and thinking that they cannot transmit the virus. And you can. You can. When they say that you're undetectable, darling, all that means is that they cannot count the number of replications of the virus in your body. If you were to take a regular HIV test to find out if you're positive or not, you would still come up as HIV positive. That is part of this information that has to go out, and it has to go out right, and it has to go out real. Now, back to condoms. If we sit down there and started the conversation and saying to that, listen, I hate using these damn things. I don't like it. I don't feel as though it's natural. It cuts into my mood. If we sit up there and start the prevention messages that hits home like that, to where folks can really get real with it, I then think that we are able to start the conversation and getting folks to take better care of what they want, of their sexual health. Okay? We also have to deal with it from another realistic part of this, and that is for those who are on medications where they have sexual side effects. Darling, it's already hell trying to get my dick hard. So now you want me to sit down here and fight with a condom on top of it? So I got to wrestle with the condom. Once I get the damn thing on, now I got to go back to making sure my dick right. Really? And that is a turnoff. And then it's also part of the rejection factor. Men who suffer from ED disorders and carrying on, honey, they're not going to come out and say that. But if that there is part of the problem, then there's the fear of rejection. Now, let me tell you something about the gay community, the LGBT community. It is very superficial. And in its superficiality, honey, one of the things, this is across the board, because men, we have been dealt this card, and those who we dick shame folks. We shame people because of their dicks. All right? Women do it all the time. I don't want no short dick man. He got to be able to put it down and blah, blah, blah. We shame men. And if they don't come correct, honey, then all of a sudden you don't want to be bothered with them. You end up, you reject them. You go tell all your girlfriends. He becomes a laughing stock or whatever. And so now it becomes an issue. You see what I'm saying? In the gay community, you take that and multiply it because now, tell a sissy, telephone, tell a queen, honey. Okay? No, I just fucked it up. It's telegram, telephone, tell a queen. Okay? Because the minute that goes out onto the wire, honey, his sex is not good, sweetheart, that there becomes an issue. And it goes back to mental health issues and carrying on. So where now, if I, for those that go through it and then you get to dick up, I'm not going to wrestle with no condom. And so it becomes that. And here's the other thing. I am not versed on this PrEP shit, okay? And for those of you who don't know what PrEP is the medication that is out here that a lot of doctors have been prescribing for to HIV, not HIV men, but to gay men, biattractional men, and carrying on. And this is supposedly a preventative. You take this and you get this into your system for 21 days so that it has time to work and build up antibodies. Once it's in your system, then this is supposed to prevent you from catching HIV or contracting. Oh, I'm sipping on tea. Hold on. That was good. Yes. Oh, that was cute, honey. Throat coat tea. Oh. So, now that we have this particular medication on the market, which is an HIV med, that's the other thing. The PrEP medicine that they giving the folks as a preventative is an HIV med. It's Truvada. Now, I don't know how it works or whatever or how the dosage is, but it is to my understanding, and I need to be corrected on this because I'm just going based on what I know HIV to do. If you are immune to it, what ends up happening a lot of times with HIV infection is those who are HIV positive, yes, they can become reinfected. What does that mean? That means that they have slept with somebody who was HIV positive, and they became reinfected because their particular strain of HIV has gone and mutated with your strand of HIV, therefore creating a whole new strand. And one of the things about when it creates a new strand is that particular strand becomes immune to the medicines that both of you girls were taking. Okay? So now we have a brand new strand of HIV that is resistant to the meds. So if you're on PrEP, and that is Truvada, and you fucking around with somebody, honey, who has Truvada as that was part of their regimen, okay, it's not going to be effective. If that strand of HIV has mutated and Truvada doesn't work for it, that there is part of the thing with this. And so we have to really look at this. And like I said, I want to educate myself on this whole PrEP treatment because I don't want to just completely cast it out. But what I am going to cast out on it is that a lot of these young people, those who were not around to see HIV the way that we saw it when it first hit, and when we were losing folks left and right and carrying on, we were losing folks by the thousands, okay? According to one article that I read, here in Georgia alone, they said that out of the last year, 39,000, almost 40,000 cases of HIV were diagnosed last year here in Georgia alone. In that, they only had 613 people to die last year, and I don't mean to say that lightly. My point is that when this thing first hit, and we had 40,000 diagnosed, honey, then we had 28,000 of them dead. You see what I'm saying? Because that's how fast this thing was going. We were burying folks left and right. And so now that we have gotten it, like the article said, it is no longer a death sentence, but it's a chronic threat. The young folks feel as though when they got the medicines and stuff now, it's easily cured. We could just go up in here. If I catch it, then I could just take my meds and I'll be on it. We have not talked about side effects or whatever. They have not really dealt with the onset of what this is. So with these numbers being, or this projection, that 1 in 2 gay men or black gay men and black bisexual men will become HIV positive, we have got to sit down here and change that. How? Well, we've got to come up with better solutions or alternatives that's going to be fitting. As an HIV counselor, one of the things that we did was called a risk reduction program, okay, a plan of action. And what that was is you sat down with the folks and you trusted them that, you know, you come up with a plan of action, and basically you come up with it together. You don't tell them what they're going to do. You ask them what they're comfortable with doing. And they'll tell you, just, no, I can't do that. No, that ain't me. No. I can't sit down there and say I'm just going to limit myself to one person. That ain't how my makeup is. So if that's the case, then as you put in the plan of action together, then it's something that they say that they can do, and then you agree on it. Okay, now, of course, you trusting that they do, and people are going to be people. But the whole idea is that we have to come up with alternatives to condom usage or whatever, because right now we have not given anybody any other options outside of saying either wrap it up or keep it under wraps. You know what I'm saying? Either you're going to keep it, wrap it up, or keep it on the wraps, child, because that there, and that's not fair to human beings, you know, and any kind of sexual release or whatever. And it's not fair because we're sitting up there giving folks this either-or kind of mentality, and there's some gray matter somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying? We have to sit down here and learn how to do this the right way and come up with alternatives, and not sit down here and shame folks who are positive. Although, you know, a lot of the HIV shaming and carrying on, I guess because we've become tolerant with it, we don't have as much as that out in the forefront like we used to. But what we do have is a lot of folks who are trying to get folks to come out with their status. We still got that. Oh, you need to tell. Walter and his commentaries, he's very big on that. And he says that in such a way that is hateful. There's an easier way of doing that, because the whole idea is that disclosing your status, okay, and don't give me this on a need-to-know basis bullshit, because that there is a given. Because, you know, and that's with anything. You know, you have people who can be cynical and carrying on. You want to protect yourself with your information, because some folks just ain't no good, you know. So before anyone y'all say, well, that's just on a need-to-know basis, what you need to know is that you have to become very comfortable with yourself. And I'm going to share a story with you real quick, because it sat down there and it rocked me. Okay, it rocked me to my core, because I had someone who sat down there, and after 5 years of us being intimate with one another, and he read my book. How about that? You know, I gave him a copy of my book, Awakenings, Epiphanies, Along a Spiritual Journey. Get your copy. I gave him a copy of my book. He read my book, and, you know, some things had transpired between us that had brought about a change. He had found a little partner and this, that, and the other. And I was like, okay. And so we were talking about that, because how it came out the blue with me. And in our conversation was when he told me that thanks to reading my book, he was able to stand up in his truth and courageously and boldly sit up and say that he had been HIV positive for 20 years. And I was on the phone and my mouth dropped. And I said, you've been positive for 20 years. We've been at this for about 5. And this is the first time you're telling me this? You know what I'm saying? The first time. Now, granted, you know, our intimacy was lovely and carried on, you know, and was well protected and this, that. So I didn't have any worries about it. But the whole thing of it is, is that need to know basis bullshit. See, that whole disclosure piece right there. That's selfish. You don't let nobody or take away anybody else's choices because you want to sit down there and have the best of both worlds. That's selfish, and that is not right. Understanding that rejection is a hurtful thing, and nobody likes to feel pain and hurt. At the same time, I tell this to my HIV positive people all the time. Go back to that moment when you found out that you were positive because that person didn't tell you. So if that person didn't tell you, why would you inflict that same kind of feeling on somebody else? If you can look at yourself in the mirror every day after doing something like that, then that's going to be between you and God. Has nothing to do with me. But if you can't look at yourself in the mirror, why would you sit down there and do that to somebody else and you know all the hell that it put you through? That there. I may sound judgmental with that, but I just feel that way. I think that's wrong to put somebody through that. Give the option, give the choice. For me, I tell folks all the time, honey, just be truthful with me. If you're up front, we can deal with it because that's not a deal breaker for me. I'm not afraid of it like that. I know what I need to do to sit down and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So this is where this thing is, and these numbers are skyrocketing because we refuse to have the conversations. We refuse to talk openly. One of the things about this is that also is that a lot of people have different kind of fetishes and carrying on, and y'all heard me say this before, and we don't like to talk about them because it's embarrassing or you might get turned on in the conversation. And so we don't have these kinds of discussions. And this is what keeps people doing this shit in the dark. Okay? Sex parties are carrying on. I'm one who may partake of those particular because that's what I do. You see what I'm saying? But in that, yes, I just told my business I don't care because this is where it has to be. You got to get to a point where you don't give a damn, honey. I am an adult, and this here is what it is. Now, if you love me, you're gonna love me. You may not agree with it, and my friends will tell you there's a lot of shit I don't agree with them. But if we eye to eye on it, and you can sit down with me and we can have a conversation, bitch, I got your back. I got your back. As long as we eye to eye on it. If I got to question it or whatever, then that becomes a problem because, see, then that means you hiding and you sneaking and carrying on. And, bitch, you're going to get all of us caught up. But if you can sit down there and say, this is what it is, this is what I do, and I can tell you, okay, bitch, you crazy, I don't like it, you need to get yourself together because it's running you ragged or whatever the case is, but I got you because this, everybody got their own little playtime or whatever, bitch, I got you. If that's the case, then that's what it is. These are the kinds of conversations that we need to have when it comes around HIV. Also, we need to have the conversation that back in the day, folks they used to call them bug chasers because folks were looking for folks who were HIV positive to become positive on purpose so that they could become part of the government programs and get the programs to pay their light bill, to pay their rent, get the food stamps, get the check, and carry it on so that they can have a better life. A lot of runaways and homeless folks and carried on that were on the streets. They were able to get housing and carrying on out of that. So it got them up off the street. So becoming HIV positive became a lifestyle for them, and it was an answer to a prayer. Now, that's a conversation that we need to have, and we don't hear that. And the CDC would not entertain that shit. And this is where it's got to get real. It's got to get real, people, and particularly here in the black community, because the conspiracy theory is that this is a man-made thing, and they did it to wipe out blacks and to wipe out gays. And what better did they do? I mean, what better tool did they have than to say that black gay men and black bisexual men are the ones leading in the infection and contracting the illness? How about that? Now, that's something to think about. I'm going to leave you with that right now. So if you got anything to say, honey, email me at bigmeech@dishingtea.com. Follow me, please, on Twitter. I'm at BigMeech1, BigMeech1 there. YouTube. Follow me on Facebook. I'm at Big Meech there, honey. Just Big Meech it, honey. And that's BIGMEACH, honey. On that note, baby, I'm still celebrating. Join me all month long. and I will talk with you again soon. Peace, kisses, and I love you.
O'Reilly.
When your battery goes dead, everything can come to a stop. Don't take a chance on getting stranded. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and get your battery tested free of charge. If your battery does need to be replaced, O'Reilly Auto Parts can help you find the exact Superstart battery that fits your car or truck at a guaranteed low price. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Every day the unstoppable, do the impossible. We the undeniable, royalty indefinable. Ford knows that your vehicle is a reflection of you. So they design beautifully innovative, stylish cars like the Explorer, Escape, and Fusion to make your journey safer, smarter, and more dynamic. Ford, born to roll. Roll on, sister, roll on, roll on. Learn more at IamBornToRoll.com.